All right, everyone. For my next guest, I'm happy to welcome Patty Schuler, Senior Vice President of Business Development at Box Options Market. Patty is also active in dozens of industry organizations, including the Security Trader Association, where she sits on the listed options and women in finance committees. She's also a member of both the Women in ETFs and Women in Listed Derivatives organizations. And lucky for us, Patty is also a longtime member of our very own OIC Roundtable Advisory Group and the OCC Roundtable. Patty, thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you again.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to see you too again.
Well, thank you. Tomorrow, when the conference kicks off, there's going to be a State of the Industry presentation, which everyone always looks forward to. One of the topics in the State of the Industry, we talk about market trends and where the market might be going. With that in mind, what is your thought? So what are some recent trends that we've seen? So, you and I spoke last time, a year ago at OIC conference. What have you seen trends in the industry since you and I last spoke, and where do you see things going forward?
Right. So, I look at this in a couple of different ways. With my box hat on and, from a personal standpoint too, sitting on these various committees, you want to make sure that you're knowledgeable in what's going on in the industry. And I can tell you, technology is a big thing for the exchange and what we do. And we are constantly looking at how to make improvements to our entire network infrastructure overall for the betterment of our market making community, as well as our order flow senders, and just being able to process all the data. Obviously, we've had some record growth this year already. April is off the chart, so to speak. And you want to make sure that your technology is operating and good, because if it's not, there's consequences, and it makes it difficult. So, like for example, we are working on an internal project to do a network refresh, overhaul of our systems. It just improves capacity and speed for us.
Okay.
Also, one of the other trends that I'm hoping that we can get some good guidance and improvement on is regulation. We've had some difficulties just in terms of things getting stymied from a regulation standpoint. Change of administration, trying to get new people in there, so to speak. You want to embrace the new concepts that are happening and sort of push the old ones out the door. And I don't think we've really been able to do that over the years. And hopefully we're looking forward in that direction.
Okay.
Another interesting is AI. It's not just used for algorithmic trading. So for an example, compliance and regulation. I was at an event within the last couple of months, and they were talking about using AI to overlay their compliance and regulatory infrastructure. So you've got these complex set of rules, and you want to make sure you're following those rules.
Right, certainly.
And not veering off the path, because you can get into some serious trouble.
Right.
So one of the subjects that they discussed was being able to take the AI, incorporate the rules, make sure, for example, your matching engine is following that rule.
Okay.
Because sometimes some things don't get discovered until it's too late. So, I thought that was very interesting, just in terms of how AI is going to really impact our industry in multiple different ways.
Right, and I know there's going to be a panel later in the week on that I'm very much looking forward to. So from a market perspective, from an exchange perspective, some of the trends you're seeing is evolving technology. What about, can you put on, for example, a retail trader's hat? What trends do you see, evolving from that over the last year or so?
Well, the retail traders have access to systems that are just amazingly dynamic for
Right,
them.
that we never did,
No.
when we first, came into the business.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was all paper and pencil
Right.
back then, and get your calculator out.
Right.
So yeah, it's just amazing what they have access to, and it I think helps them manage their risk and their intraday trading much better than we ever had it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that's coming down the pike is a lot of discussion for 24/5 or 24/7 trading. That in itself is just going to pose challenges in terms of the industry and how we move forward in technology and
Right.
Systems, staffing. We're in a global economy right now, and I understand the need for 24/5, but I think the option industry as a whole is looking towards that, and we'll get there. But there's going to be some challenges. Just from a regulatory standpoint, clearing standpoint. From my exchange standpoint, we're small, and we're not a big global exchange. So
Yet.
yes, we've been doing quite well lately.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother concept in terms of staffing and how we manage our systems and what that looks like.
Yeah.
So
Right, certainly. So aside from AI, is there any other technology that you feel that's driving innovation within the market? So, AI is certainly helping people, certainly on the back end, a lot of infrastructure. I know, OCC is using AI on a limited basis, currently, but aside from that, what other technology do you see is driving this innovation in the markets that we've seen?
well, for one, OCC is moving to a new
Yes.
platform,
Yes.
Ovation,
Yes.
and we haven't had that in a very long time. And being able to move to the new Ovation platform, I think will give the entire industry a huge facelift,
Great.
a needed facelift.
Good, that's very good to hear.
The way things are processed nowadays, it's very siloed and it's slow. And if one component of that process happens to not go off in a timely fashion, it impacts everything down
Right, everything
the line.
downstream, yeah.
Yep. So, moving to Ovation will help in terms of that, and I think will offer the ability for the industry as a whole to potentially create new products, newer looking, derivatives, whatever works. I think we'll be on the right path once we
Terrific.
get Ovation launched.
Good. Yeah, and fingers crossed that happens, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, sitting on the OCC roundtable, I get the updates. So,
Right. So you're very familiar.
There's a little bit of pain points, but we're working through it,
Yeah,
right?
excellent.
So, not everything goes smooth the first time you attempt this. I mean, even us, we've been another project that we're working on, which is going to be pretty significant. It's a multi-year project. We've started it last year and don't look to launch it until probably mid-26, is our market data feed. So we are completely revamping our market data feed, and that's a big project.
Sure.
And that entails everyone who consumes our market data feed to write to a new feed that's different.
Okay.
And that will impact our market makers, it will impact our participants, and the vendors that
Sure.
consume our market data feed. So we've been very targeted in terms of getting the feedback that we need from our customers, specifically the market makers. We've had numerous conversations and time spent with them to get their feedback because we want to get it right. I mean, if you don't have good market data, you're going to be
Right.
You're not going to be
You're
in
not going to be in business
for very long.
Right. Absolutely, from an exchange standpoint and a trading standpoint. Yeah, certainly. No, I get that. Let me shift gears for a second. The Options Industry Council, as you very well know, our whole existence centers around education. As a member of the exchange, what role do you feel the exchange plays in educating your customers?
I feel that as an exchange, it is our responsibility to make sure that we educate our customers, especially on how exchange order types work.
Okay.
Not every exchange has all the same order types. Like how certain auction mechanism work and what that looks like. Make sure that they understand the process. Make sure that they know what the allocation methodologies are, if you're price time priority or whatnot. So we do spend quite a bit of time with the clients and talking to them about those things.
Okay.
There's a lot of exchanges right now, and everyone has their own little flavor
Sure.
and slice of it. So, like when I look at this, I'm like, okay, our customer is probably on all these exchanges. They have to understand each exchange's nuance. So it's a lot for them to process too.
Certainly, right.
It's a lot for me just to keep it straight internally. So, that's one thing that we, I guess, pride ourselves in, making sure that the clients understand what Box is all about and what's unique to us and why they come to us and support us. We also launched a trading floor back in 2017 because we felt that it was good to be able to compete on that level too. So that's another component in terms of making sure participants are educated in terms of how that trading floor works, how things are processed on that trading floor. But my personal favorite is sitting on the OIC roundtable and being able to educate the younger generation, if
Right.
you will.
The demographic is totally skewed younger over the last several years, certainly.
Yeah, so much more so from when we were back in school or trying to learn this business. It was a book.
Right.
You had to read from the book. You had hope that the market makers would teach you.
Right.
Nowadays, these students, business schools actually have programs dedicated to derivatives trading.
Right.
And derivatives is a combination of, listed equity options along with futures, the futures side of the market as well. So they are learning and they are grasping the knowledge that we never had available to us.
Yeah, we've got and I'm sure as a OIC Roundtable member, we've got a university outreach program that's spearheaded by our very own Roma Caldwell. And the work that she's doing is fantastic, but the feedback that she gets and relays to us is that the younger demographic who's trading now are so much more understanding of the industry and of the product, certainly than we were at that age. In college, I didn't even know that options existed. All I knew was the stock market. So they're consuming their information in certainly different ways than we did, because there are ways that exist today that didn't back then. But the point being is that they're much more knowledgeable. They're much more approachable with the information we're trying to relate to them, and they're using it. It's really terrific to see.
100% agree with you on that. Roma and I actually had the pleasure of being able to work together last fall at Clemson University.
Right, I remember.
And we did that, and it was amazing the level of knowledge that these kids knew. They
great,
weren't
right?
basic. It was not basic 101
Right,
options.
yeah.
I mean, they were into the thick of it, and the university just built a brand new business school, and along with that, they created a Bloomberg trading room. So they have this huge Bloomberg trading room that they utilized, for portfolio management and everything that they can access through Bloomberg. So it was just amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great to see more people embracing the product. It's even better to see those people having an understanding of what it is they're getting themselves into, so hopefully they'll have a more successful experience. And that just fuels the cycle. It's going to bring more people in the product, more people trading, and excellent news.
It's good. My family always says, oh, it's a bad day in the market today. It was down big. And I said, well, yeah, from a personal standpoint, yeah, your portfolio may take a hit, but from a box options exchange standpoint, we love it when it's busy like that. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Patty, I really appreciate you sitting down with us. Absolutely great to see you again. I certainly hope you enjoy the conference.
Absolutely great to see you. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to a great conference as well.
Yeah, as am I. So again, thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us, and stick around for our next segment. Talk to you soon.